We go back for a job in Roma Street Parklands. Foxy launches a new service.
We're going to make that available to other people.
And we answer your questions.
Hey Russ, we got a question on Foxy TV.
It's been over a month since our last Foxy TV episode and a lot has changed. Welcome to Foxy TV, episode 58.
Let's figure it out.
Pulling it now. 3 in a car, 1 in a truck.
Valuable and adding value to your clients.
Ronia, the cleaners won't be finished there until 12:30 today. So Unity Parklands, keys are at Place New Farm. Tomorrow, currently there's nothing on the day in the day, but it's going to be whatever pack-ups I can confirm. Wednesday, Barracky pack-up, but that's the week. And then Thursday's off, Friday's off.
The first job of the week was an install in Roma Street Parklands.
Alright, we're here, Roma Street Parklands, 2-bedroom apartment, and once again these views are awesome. Imagine waking up with it. It's lovely.
We then headed back to the warehouse where I caught up with Phoebe.
Oh, I've been updating the online store, Cody.
Oh, cool.
Getting everything ready to launch. It's been a long time coming. It's been waiting on me, but I find myself with a bit of spare time. So getting that already.
And Janessa and I are heading off to Holland Park to finish a bit of an install.
Yeah, we started on Friday, but when we got there, the painters hadn't actually put photos up on Instagram, but yeah, the painters have cleaned up now, so everything's all good to go. You guys are going to go finalise that one. You've already been over to Parklands this morning and styled 1 2-bedroom over there.
Yep.
And got a couple of consults this afternoon, which is awesome to have some coming through.
And as Phoebe will mention here, we're now putting together walkthrough videos of all our new listings.
So we did an install at the start of the week. Actually went at the end of last week, but it was a bit messy, so we've been back at the start of the week. Last week we introduced walkthrough videos for all of our installs that are happening. So the reason that we've introduced this, it's awesome to see the agents bringing in live Facebook Lives and 3D walkthroughs, all that sort of thing. But what I was noticing when I was looking on the weekend were a lot of, it's just the agent space or the floor or really up close to the wall, and that's not on the agent. They still only have a minimal amount of time to get through a property. So we're there, we're on site, Cody's there anyway, so we thought, well, why not throw together videos for them all, so and give Cody a bit of a challenge. So this particular one is a 3-bed, 1 study, 1 living, 1 dining, awesome outdoor space, cute little cottage in Holland Park. So I wanted to show you the before and the after, a walkthrough video as to why it's important and what styling can still bring to the plate. So you can see in the vacant one, it's really hard to get a sense of space, a sense of dimension. You can't really tell when you walk in the door that you've got quite a vast living space. The dining room can still fit a 6-seater, but you can't really tell that. The bedrooms, they're normal size. The bedrooms are pretty good, and you can see that the outdoor space is quite generous. But as far as the living space goes, it's really hard. It's really hard to convince somebody to go, you know what, I'm going to make a private inspection for that one. It's worth me going out and risking, you know, potential exposure to go and see something that they can't fall in love with when it's empty. So we've cut together 2 videos, one where Cody's gone through with a vacant, exact same property style. So you can see the difference between the two, see the quality, and then hopefully, and I have no doubt that this will equate to extra dollar value.
So this is just the first draft of the walkthrough videos that Phoebe was just talking about. Still some work to do on this video. It's not finalised yet, but I thought I'd put it into Foxy TV just to give you some context. Morning, Jay.
Morning.
How are you this Tuesday?
Excellent.
Excellent. You're dressed up and ready to go in the truck today.
I've got the call up, yep, been subbed in. Cam's had some issues with his car at home and...
No, tell the people what happened.
He's had a break-in. Somebody's gone in and, I don't know, taken his wallet and other things, I don't even know.
Out of his car.
There, so
You'd think maybe you wouldn't keep your wallet in your car overnight.
that's probably what
out on the street.
I would think. Anyway, so yeah, Cam's off reporting that and figuring out what he needs to do. So in the meantime, I'm in there with Russ.
And what's on today?
Pack-ups. We've got 3 pack-ups.
Yep.
None of them particularly big, but take a couple of trips. So. So today's Tuesday the 7th of April and we haven't done much of an update on our numbers and business, how we're going here at Foxy for a little while, so I thought I'd do that. We've got our Foxy metrics up here, which we try and keep updated as much as we can. We had a really great March, well, a really good start to the year all the way through to March, and as most stadium businesses in Brisbane would be feeling right now, we've essentially fell off a cliff in terms of the number of inquiries. We're still getting a few here and there, which is good, and some quotes going out, but in terms of the number of jobs, to give you an idea, in March we did 34 installs. This month we're looking at the moment 6, which is obviously well down. We've only done 2 so far, and we've got a few more booked in. So obviously the coronavirus is having a big impact on us and the whole industry, the whole real estate industry, not just staging. So, you know, Phoebe's still getting phone calls, which is good. We're still sending out, as I say, some quotes, and we're talking to clients and agents, and we're just kind of taking it, you know, day at a time at the moment.
What about staff you've got? How many full-time staff?
So we've got 5 full-time plus Phoebe and I, so seven of us here.
So are you having to cut hours?
So what we've done as of this week, so it's Tuesday, so as of yesterday, we've made the decision as a business to reduce hours to 3 days a week for everybody. Hopefully that will last only a very short period of time. And we've done that because, as we said, we've dropped from a normal month of about 30 jobs kind of as a target to, at this stage, 6. And not really knowing what's going to go forward, what it's going to look like going forward. So what we're doing is the same as any other business. We're looking at what the government subsidies and other packages, stimulus packages, can do for us. So obviously the wage subsidies, JobKeeper, Job Seeker, those sort of things, we're looking at all the details. But essentially we're in a period where we need to just survive. We need to, as the PM keeps saying, go into hibernation almost, where we're going to keep operating as long as we are able to and as long as it's safe to do that. But in the meantime, it's about reducing costs as much as possible, making sure that we keep everybody in their jobs. So we've made it a point to say everybody's guaranteed their jobs. We just might have to all take a little bit of a hit in the short term to get through this period, and we'll kind of keep an eye on inquiries and number of jobs, and hopefully it picks up sooner rather than later.
And I'll just jump in quickly here. Jake wanted me to mention that while the staff members, while we're only working 3 days a week, we're spreading it out and overlapping. So Foxy as a business, as a team, is still operating 5 days a week. Back to Jake.
Last week we also announced a new service.
We did. So obviously we're, with less installs, we're still doing pack-ups. So there's still, as of today, 34 houses out. We have been picking up houses 2-3 pack-ups every day, and that'll continue. But we have the trucking house, we've got the logistics team, and you know, we've gotten to a point where the team here, Russ and Cam, and yourself, Cody, and me, when we need to help, we're quite fast, very efficient in the way that we, I guess, load the truck and get it in and out of houses. We have to be, you know, some days we're loading and unloading a truck 3 or 4 times. So up until this point, that's been entirely kept to ourselves, because obviously we're busy enough to keep them going. Obviously now though, we've got a bit more time on our hands and we're trying to keep everybody busy, so we're going to make that available to other people. So for a period of time, depending on how things go, we're going to be doing removal work, using our truck, using our team, and we're offering that up to the agents that we work with and their clients, their sellers and buyers. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing now with our staging, but we're also going to offer some removalist work. If anybody is interested in that, we can also take furniture and items to storage and look after it for them. So if you're interested, feel free to get in touch, give us a call.
Okay, time for some Q&A. We received some questions over Instagram last week. First question comes from Home at Last Staging, and they ask, have you ever done a video tour of your warehouse? I'll answer this one. The answer's no, but we obviously film a lot of videos here for Foxy TV and other things and Instagram stories. But if this is something that you would like an actual walkthrough to show you all the areas and how we utilise the 2 warehouses, let me know in the comments or just write back through Instagram message, and that's something we can do for a future episode. Okay, on to the next question.
Okay, Jake, we have a question from Meadowlark Interiors. They've asked, how do you store lamps and shades?
So floor lamps, you can see here, not particularly tidy at the moment, but we have this section here. We've got artwork down one side, and we essentially use the middle of this little space for our floor lamps, and they all just kind of stand out in the middle there. Those that have detachable lampshades we store separately up top, which I guess we can go and show you in a minute, but yeah, all of these are just kind of kept here for as much as, just because this is an area where we don't move big pieces of furniture in and out. You're not moving sofas or things that can knock or damage them. So in here they're kept kind of by themselves and safe. This is a little document that Phoebe's put together. Just little laminated cards with our name, so what we call each of the lamps and what they look like. And the purpose of that, this is kind of for the logistics of the boys, and as we're loading the truck, we'll have our stock list telling us what we need to put on the truck. And if it says a Steve floor lamp, for instance, if you're not sure, we can go to this book and find what it's supposed to look like to make sure we get the right things. So the lampshades for all lamps, floor lamps, bedside table lamps, all those are up here. See the bigger ones at the back are obviously the floor lamps. We also store all of the bedside table lamps up here, so on one side you'll have all of the main bits. And what they do, here's an example. For each of them they colour-coded tape and put a little number on it, and then that same tape, same number will match to the lampshades, which I don't know what goes with that one, so I can't show you the example, but for instance, if you were to look, let's pull off a random set of lampshades, there's a bit of tape in here, so it's a different one, but just make sure that all of our shades and lamps go together in the right order. So yeah, that's kind of how we store them.
Hey Russ, we got a question on Foxy TV, how we transport lamps. Do you just want to quickly run us through?
Sure, mate. I think we've got a couple strapped in here. We usually use ropes rather than straps because we can tie it more securely to the truck. Got a couple tied up here, nice and securely.
Yep.
Sort of halfway up the frame so it doesn't damage anything. And then we usually just wrap the top so it can't get damaged on transport. So,
And what about the small bedside lamps? Do they come with you, or do they go with the girls?
no, the girls usually take them because they're quite small. We don't really want them rolling around in the back of the truck. Find it's a lot safer going on the back of the boot with them.
Next question, and this comes from Abode Property Styling.
Okay.
And they've asked, is it still okay to stage houses? And what about partial staging?
Alright, so I guess we're in Brisbane, so that's probably important because each state is a little bit different in the way that they're doing their lockdowns and what they're saying you're allowed to go out and do at the moment. As it stands right now, we are still able, in terms of what businesses are able to be open, we're still allowed to be open, we're still allowed to be operating. Obviously there's some restrictions around the hygiene and social distancing and all those sort of things. So as a business like ours, we will often have, say, multiple people, two guys in a truck. We'll have a stylist on site, so we have to be careful about how many people are working together and kind of the spaces that they're working in. But in terms of what we're able to do, as long as we're being safe, we're using hand sanitizers, we're wiping down benches and spraying them where we need to, all those sorts of things. We're still operating. In terms of the number of jobs that were coming in, as we've kind of spoken about, they've dropped off a little bit, so vacants aren't a problem. Partial staging we're being a little bit more careful with, and making sure that the furniture that we're working with, if it's the clients, we're spraying it where we need to, and we're kind of being careful with surfaces and those sorts of things. It's all common sense sort of thing at the moment. We're also making sure that we don't have clients in the houses while we're staging, putting the furniture in or taking it out. So we're trying to make sure that clients we work with, particularly partials, if they're living there, they're out of the house, they're kind of kept away from us so that we can kind of go in and do our thing and then get out. So yeah, at this stage we're still working, as long as we're being smart about it and common sense.
Next question comes from B Property Crowd.
Okay.
And they've asked, I noticed you guys don't plastic wrap your furniture in the warehouse or during transit. How do you keep everything clean? I am drowning in unwanted plastic and loss of time on packing everything.
Yeah, we are not big fans of plastic wrapping, partly because obviously there's a cost involved in that, and probably more importantly time involved in that, in wrapping it and unwrapping it and everything, which is a hard comparison to make. But on one of the parts to this is I look at it and go, well, what's the cost in terms of time and actually paying for the plastic versus what it takes to get something professionally cleaned every now and then, or even to replace a sofa if we needed to when it got too dirty. So I guess it comes down to the guys in the truck and being careful about how we handle everything, how we store in the warehouse. So we can see most of the sofas that are here at the moment are sitting on some new carpet offcuts that we've been able to get. So the carpet offcuts are clean. And when they go on the truck, everything goes on top of pads or is wrapped in the pads, the mats, as they need to. To be honest, the only time they really get dirty is if we're handling them and we've got dirty hands and we're not being careful. So we just have to be conscious of that. And as I mentioned as well, every now and then we get a professional cleaner to come in and clean up the ones that have been dirtied. So we kind of look at what we do as needing to be fast and efficient, and wrapping and unwrapping and having all this plastic sitting around slows that down. So we would rather be paying to clean a sofa than wrapping every single one.
That's it for this week's Foxy TV. I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe out there. Have a great Easter, and we'll see you back here next week.